Hi guys, welcome back to Homegirl Handbook. I miss you guys so much. Okay. Hi guys, welcome to. I'm so ready for this. I'm so ready for this cover. Vanna White down here somewhere where you guys can like, share, all right, I'm a little amped up. Okay, so let me not even forget. Like, share, comment, everything right here that you need. Homegirl Handbook. I'm back. I'm here to talk to you. Like, share, comment, share with everybody you know. Ha, didn't forget this time. We got it. We got it this time. I'm excited about topics, so don't mind me. Okay, so this week, about to talk about money. We're talking about money. Gonna make you really uncomfortable today, okay? So this past weekend, I went to a football game. Go Ravens. I don't want to hear it. I wore my purple just for that, okay? Haters, you don't matter, okay? I went to a football game this weekend, and surprisingly, at the halftime show, Nelly was there. And, mixed feelings, right? But he sang one of his famous songs, It's All About the Money. And it got me thinking, is that what's stopping you from buying a house? Is it the money? Is it the money? Is it not understanding? Is it not having it? What is it? What is it? Not having it and not understanding it are two different things. But we're going to talk about it today. We're going to explain it today. So that leaves me at this topic, is the money stopping you from buying a home? It shouldn't be. It's not going to be after we finish having this conversation. Okay? All right. So back. Bring it back. I'm all over the place. Bring it on back. Okay, so nobody ever wants to talk about money. No one ever wants to talk about it. They don't want to address it. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to run down the steps of purchasing a house. That way you can kind of see the fees or money that is associated with the transaction in real estate. That way you can get more familiar with it. That way you can understand it. That way you can do more research to kind of figure out and gauge how much money you really need to have saved to buy a house. Because some people are thinking it's like, I need $20,000 to buy a house. Not necessarily. I've done closings for less, right? A lot of closings for less. You don't really know, and you don't know what you're preparing for, and that's just a cop out. And we're not doing that anymore. We're done with that. We're about to leave that in 2022 because we're about to step up to 2023, and we don't have time for that. So, the process of buying a home. First, you have to get pre-approved, okay? Pre-approval is pretty much the lender looking at some information, general brief looking through to see how much home you can approximately afford, right? They're looking at your financials just very briefly, see how much house you can afford. And then you get this nice letter called a pre-approval letter, right? You need that in order to put an offer in on a house, okay? You need that document to say that you can afford the house that you're trying to buy, right? Then you start to go looking for houses. That's everybody's favorite part. Looking for houses. You get to search on Zillow, on Redfin, on whatever website you search, and you get with your realtor and you look for houses. You see the type of house you like, go through, boom, let's say you found one. This is a house that's perfect, has 2-car garage, big backyard, location I need, good school system, everything I want. How do I gain it? I need to put an offer in. So pretty much you get your pre-approval letter, right? You have your agent type everything up and they send it to the seller, right? Along with this, there is sometimes a fee or money associated with that. Just depends on the market that you're in, okay? We have a thing called due diligence, right? Due diligence money is just money that you're giving up front that is non-refundable. I want to say that very slowly. Non-refundable, that you do not get back, but you do it and you give it, and it's credited towards your purchase of the home So it's not like you just giving out money. It's credited towards your purchase, but it makes your offer look more enticing versus other people that are trying to buy this house as well. It's upfront money. The best thing about due diligence, more so for the seller, is they get that money immediately. So if you don't have cash on hand to do that, then you don't need to give as much, right? That's the money that you can give them quickly. It makes it look more enticing, but that is something that you might want to keep in mind if you are trying to buy a house. Having a little bit of money saved, it just depends on the market you're in. I've seen some as low as $500. I've seen them some as big as $50,000. It just depends on the market that you're in, but you need to know that, or at least ask your agent who knows the market to kind of figure out the best way to gauge it. Or it could also be how many people are actually trying to buy that house. That helps gauge how much you really have to give up, or if you have the means to do so. Anyway, so a lot of people confuse due diligence money with earnest money. It's a little different. Earnest money you can get back, and earnest money you don't have to give up at the beginning of the offer, right? You can give it up later on during the closing. Once all the paperwork and everything's been done, then you can give up earnest money at that point. So they're a little different. Normally you see one or the other, more so not both. But again, they kind of gauge on pricing depending on the market, depending on how many people are looking at the house, depending on where the house is located. Kind of gauge. So it's a range there. Next, after they accept your offer, let's say they say yes, $1,000 due diligence, amazing, wonderful, we accept your offer. Then you go under contract. That means you're in a binding contract. They've signed off saying this is how much they're gonna sell the house to you for. You're signing off saying this is how much I'm buying it for. You're under contract at that point, right? If you pull out, you lose your money. If the sellers pull out, they owe you a refund back. That's how that works. Okay. So then you go to underwriting. Jeez Louise. Underwriting. Pretty much underwriting is when the lender has their people kind of go through your financial records. They're going through everything, digging, searching to make sure that you can really afford this house that you are trying to purchase. They want to cross every T, dot every I, make sure you can afford it. So no fees associated with that. Then next you go to inspection. During your due diligence period, that due diligence money we talked about on average is normally like 14 days. During that time, you go through the house, you have an inspection done. There's a fee associated with that. Normally it's between like $400, $500. They're just checking to make sure that everything in the house works properly. That the electricity works, the water works, flooring is right, it's suitable. You don't have to get this done. It is best to get it done. You don't have to get it done if you don't have the finances to do it or if you're concerned about that, but it's best to get it done just to make sure everything is the way they said it was when you signed the contract, okay? Then next you have an appraisal. This is more so done by the bank. This is charged to you towards your closing costs at the end of the transaction. You don't have to come out of pocket and pay that a lot of times. And that is just the bank making sure that your house is worth what you're buying it for. Making sure they're getting their money's worth, making sure you're getting your money's worth. That's all that is. Some people tend to get the two kind of confused, appraisal and inspection. So I just like to kind of break those down on what each of those are. Then your stuff is finished with underwriting and you have your approval. Boom. You're clear to close, right? Everything checked off. Everything looks good. You can afford it. All the monies are there. Everything's good. We're ready to close, okay? So then once you're ready to close, your information gets passed over to the closing attorney, okay? There is a fee associated with this, right? You don't want you writing up the documents to get this house. You don't want the seller writing up the document to get this house. You need a third party to come in, and that's where the attorneys come in. They charge you a fee, which is approximately, it ranges on that, depending on the attorney's office and, how they are, just depending on what they are. But you can call and ask about that type of stuff, or your agent can find it out for you. But it's also added on to your closing costs of them just putting all of this information together, doing certain title searches to make sure everything is a-okay before this information is transferred from one person to the next person, okay? And then you have the closing. So normally this is where your down payment comes in or your closing costs. Some people refer to them as either one. That is once the lender has kind of calculated everything, they've added in your taxes, your property taxes, they've added in your if you've got like financial help from the lender, they've added on their help, any type of HOA fees, upfront HOA fees that need to be paid, appraisal costs, all of that stuff is kind of tallied in. And don't be fearful about this because they give it to you in advance. That way you can view it and you kind of know what's going on and what it has a breakdown of everything, explaining all the monies associated, where it's all going from. It calculates it all down to show you how much your payment will be, how much your property taxes will be. All the numbers are all up there. It gives you the whole breakdown. So it makes the process so much easier. And your agent is supposed to explain it to you and let you, give you more information so you kind of know what's going on and what you're paying this money for. Like I said, it's not crazy amounts that are included in there. So I like to break it down because I don't want people to be fearful about buying a house. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta have, you don't. You just need to know kind of what's going on to make sure you do have enough saved for the fees that are associated with it, but that you're prepared for it as well. I like to say that because we're getting into the fourth quarter of the year, right? And normally, typically people slow down during the fourth quarter. No, baby, we are speeding up. You are ramping up. You are getting prepared to close out this year well to set you up for your 2023. So that's why we're talking about money. The holidays are coming, right? Holidays coming, you start spending money. You're going to the fair. You're doing all of this extra stuff that you normally don't do other times of the year. If you have a plan written down of this is how much money I need, or this is what I'm saving this for, or I have an appraisal I have to pay for, I have inspection I have to pay for, you're going to be a little more cautious on who you're buying gifts for this year, okay? You're going to have all that stuff in order of what you need to do. So we need to talk about it now. We don't want to wait. We want you to go into the holidays with a plan of what to do. Also, too, like it could prepare you. Like, let's say you save up money right now until the beginning of the year, and then you get your tax refund to add on top of what you saved, doubling what you have, and then you're ready. You can go into the new year buying a house. What type of flex is that? Like, come on. It makes me think about Matthew 6:12, where it says, where your treasure is where your heart is as well. Like, for real though, like wherever you are making a plan and whatever you prioritize, if you're prioritizing your finances to make sure that you have something to leave behind, that you have something to gain generational wealth, that is where your heart is. That's a good place to be. Your mind is where it needs to be, and you're managing exactly what you need to be managing to make sure you reach the goals that you're trying to reach. And that's my point of all of this, to make sure you gain what you're trying to get. I want you to have a house. I want you to be successful. I want you to build generational wealth. I want you to not start off in a deficit. That's what I want for you and all people everywhere that want to have it. I want you to have it. I want to help you get it. Okay? That's what Homegrown Handbook's all about. Okay? So, I'm here to help. Knowledge, videos, all of that. DM me if you have questions. You can email me. Whatever you need to do to get the answers so that you get the information that you need. I am here, okay? Like, share, comment, all of that stuff. I love y'all. Until next time, bye.